What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother, Son Soul X, in his joint. Check it out. Hit us up, www.kingandilife.com, for all our podcast info. Subscribe to whatever podcast platform that you choose. Also, hit us up, KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Email us your suggestions, your feedback, and all that good stuff. Tune in to us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because we are all over all those social media platforms. Stay tuned for the good stuff. Yeah, we out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the King and I Life podcast. You know what to do, www.kingandilife.com, YouTube, all that stuff. So let's just do a humdinger out there, but I'm gonna let him go ahead right quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna put out a cooking challenge, where I want our participants, our listeners, our family and friends to participate. I'm gonna throw together a video doing a short tutorial of cooking one particular item in particular. I'm gonna put it out there, and I want to see how they do it. One style is not better than the other. It's just, this is how I do it where I'm from. So again, I just want people to participate in it, and let's have a little fun with it. But y'all be on the lookout for that, because I'm going to post that on Instagram.
Bruh, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Wow. All right, bet. You got me on that. But yeah, we're gonna jump back into it because I don't want to get sidetracked. So let's talk about South America now. I went to Costa Rica. Costa Rica was dope. Like I said, we got an Airbnb that was up in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see the Pacific Ocean. The Airbnb was dope. I mean, look, you had let me put it like this. We had a rear wheel drive minivan. When we got there, it was raining. So it's like you had to be a driver to get up that hill. Like,
wow.
You literally had to be a driver. I did get us stuck once going up, but we had somebody leading us up the hill, but got us stuck like once, and then we got up there a little bit, then we started sliding or whatever the case may be. But once we got up there, it was magnificent. The view was magnificent. The Airbnb was magnificent. Again, the dude they left us. They brought us some fresh fruit for the Airbnb. The fruit was magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
The Airbnb where it wasn't too many people around. I mean, it was other Airbnbs on the mountain, but it wasn't too many people too close to us. And they had armed security outside the Airbnb, which was mind blowing to me. But we were able to get out. The first day we went to a beach, we saw some Americans out there, but the people didn't bother us. People that we did interact with was cool. The next day we went out looking for a waterfall, and this was a goddamn adventure. Cause one of the females, she found on Google where the waterfall was. Mm-hmm. So we hop in the van, we going out. One female couldn't do it because it was. So her and the dude that came with her, they stayed back at the van. But before we got up there, we was talking to this lady who stayed in the house that was right up the path. She was like, "Yeah, you can go up here, blah blah blah." and there was some Americans coming down. They was like, "Yeah, it's the waterfall is right up there. It's not too far." But the lady who we was talking to, she was from Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What made you move from Canada to here?" Because where she was, it was like compared to what we're used to, it was in the middle of nowhere. But it wasn't. It was a nice little town, not too far from where she stayed. But for us, it would be in the middle of nowhere. And for me, I was like, why? Uh, she chatted with us or whatever. But we went up this hill, which turned into uh, a hike, which turned into a trek, which turned into we black and we got to get up out these trees. Um, Not because we was in danger of people or anything, but
Right.
it was like getting dark. That's how like we started at like maybe 2 o'clock, and it was getting dark.
Oh wow.
Needless to say, we never found a waterfall, but the monkeys was in the trees, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yo, but it was getting dark. So, but I mean, it was a nice little walk. But yeah, and then we went down. I forgot the Guanacosta, whatever it was, but we went down to this other city, which like was an hour and a half from the Airbnb. That was where the beach was. We got on the catamaran. They had a little car festival thing down there. And what blew my mind though, it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of Americans who relocated down there.
Oh wow.
Like it was a black dude who had a restaurant down there. There was a couple from Texas that was down there. Um, and they was telling us, yeah, this is the best move we made. And I was like, you don't say. And they was living it up. I was blown. But, you know, we did run into some people trying to sell us some weed. And it's like, yo, nah, get away, get away. But
Okay.
the seafood was fresh. The fruit was look, dude. Look, I want to go back to Costa Rica. Needless to say.
I'll bet. It sounds like you had a heck of a time down that way.
Oh yeah.
One place I will say I do want to revisit is Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
because we did the waterfall over there,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't feel like I was able to fully
Enjoy it.
enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
because again I was helping other people, like I was part of the damn tour or some shit. But Jamaican people, they seem like just really laid back. Like if you were to stay over there for a minute, there's no doubt in my mind I would have had a even better time. I mean, I was just there for a day, but the beaches there are beautiful. Women there are beautiful. It's just, I can tell I would have a really great time.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, but Costa Rica is the only place in South America that I've been. Yep. Uh, I wouldn't mind going to Brazil.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I definitely got to do Brazil.
yeah, I would do Brazil.
I had the chance to go, and I was thrown off
You had
my
a chance to
track.
go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had a chance to go. But, you know, that whole Mary thing. Like, hell no, you ain't going over Brazil. What?
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But, you know, I'm gonna have to put that one on back on the schedule. Back on.
I bet. I bet. I bet. I bet. Um. So let's talk about thoughts on the culture differences in the countries that we've been to. Because we know how American culture is, and for the most part, for me, I will say we live in a very entitled situation here, where people think everything is about them, and there's a lot of selfishness and uh ignorance, and just that whole connected vibe is just not there for me. But every time I've been to a different country, I don't know if because I was just visiting for a short time or whatever the case may be, but I've always felt like it was a better experience as far as the culture differences.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I feel like within our country we have too many damn Beckys, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Meaning someone who wants to argue over something for no reason, just for the simple sake of argument. Um, Anytime I've been outside of, the perimeters of our country, I've always enjoyed myself, no matter where I was at. I never
Mm-hmm.
felt um, like I was the wrong place at the wrong time because of, my melanation.
Mm.
I never felt like, people were staring at us because we, have a
Right.
darker hue. Again, everywhere I've gone on the outside of this country, I've always felt welcome. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people tend to be more open, and I don't know if it's just carefree, but they don't let, little small things trip them up like they sometimes do here within our country.
Yeah. People, it's like, I don't know, racism. I've heard of racism in other countries towards people of our complexion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but visiting, I've never really experienced. I probably experienced maybe once or twice, but for the most part, we are treated better abroad than we are here.
Yeah.
It's like we have more issues with oppression and all of that stuff here, and it's just crazy um that we have that. I don't know what to attribute that to, but it's one of those feelings where sometimes you wish you was somewhere else and not here because you get treated a little better to a degree. But then I don't know if it's because we're tourists or that's just the way they are. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about it is, man, I think the way you carry yourself has a lot to do with it too. Um, not saying that one person is better than another person or anything along that line, but people generally, um, on the outside of our country pick up on our vibes, meaning, they can tell our will that we're not there to get in any kind of trouble. We just want to have fun or
Mm-hmm.
enjoy, the space that we're in.
Right.
Um, I think it's a real shame that we haven't progressed more than what we have inside of our own country.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
But again, it is what it is. And if you let it attach itself to you like that, then it will. But for the most part, just live your life, keep it moving. You'll be alright.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But what I like, another thing that I like about other countries that I don't see so much here is a celebration of their culture, a celebration of their
Yes.
history.
Yes.
Um, like even in Europe, they have days of celebration where it's like everybody takes part in that. South America, you have these carnivals, these festivals, and stuff like that. Even in the Caribbean, so um, it's I think to me it's amazing that even in Mexico, this right down the street, even in Canada, which is right above us, and it's like they they actually sit back and they have these celebrations that sometimes last a whole damn week, and it's just weird that we don't necessarily do that as a whole here.
Right. Um, it's kind of crazy you would mention this because I remember during the expo, instead of Bahamian Nation, they had their own parade celebrating that culture.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought occurred to me like, where in the hell and how in the hell do we as American um, indigenous people, how do we celebrate our culture? Because no matter which version of what we've been told we are, we really can't put it all together and say for a fact this is what it is.
Mm.
Whereas everybody around us can say that, no matter whether you're from India, or South America, or Europe, or Caribbeans, wherever it is, you get to celebrate your history because you really know your history for a fact.
Mm.
Whereas with us, everything's been muddied up and uh, hidden and part of the truth and some of the truth and bit here and a bit there. It's kind of like we don't get that whole truth that we so need um, in order to celebrate us. It's funny to me though because I saw so many different aspects of uh, what some would say is our culture, meaning our music, how our music influenced the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
no matter which different country I went within the expo, you could tell that there was that reminiscent of us
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, but again, we can't celebrate who we truly are because our real facts and history have been stolen from us, hidden from
Even if
us.
uh, but even if you take that out of it, what the thing that I find sad about it is, regardless of that part, like
Right,
we have the 4th of July, which is for history's sake is the birth of our nation. That's when the Independence Day and all that stuff. What bothers me about that is it's not really a countrywide celebration. Um, like in Mexico, they have their thing. Um, Jamaica, they have their thing. Bahamas, they have their thing. Brazil, they have their thing. Um, so many countries have their thing. And of course, throughout history, people move from different continents, this, that, and the other.
right,
Um, and United States is a country of immigrants. Yes, you have Italian Americans doing this, you have Indian Americans doing that, and whatever the case may be. But my thing is, once you're here, or you've already been here, when the 4th of July comes, why I just don't understand why, as a whole, it's so damn hard for us to be like, hey, this is America's Day. Let's all celebrate. Um, I get I get the fact that everybody's background in this country was not pleasant. I get that. I totally get that. But what I don't like is that we're all at this point in history, for the most part, we are all American citizens. And it's like, at one point, why can't we all just say, you know what? Every body in this country has their background. Celebrate that, celebrate that, celebrate that, celebrate that. But when it comes to the 4th of July, let's all shake hands, hug, dap each other up, and just be happy for what we have. Because again, when you look at these other countries, they do that. Like, they have whole carnivals and parades that go through the whole country, or, you know, most cities throughout the country. So that's the thing that bugs me about the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel your sentiments when it comes to that, because it's like, not from where you're from, but where you at.
Right.
You dig? It's not where you're from, it's where you at. And that's one thing that we wholeheartedly don't celebrate as a union. You know, if you want to take the 4th of July, for example, like, some people will participate, other people like, just another day to me.
Right.
But again, whether you were born here or raised here or whatever the case may be, right now you are here.
Right.
So how come we just can't come together and just celebrate our nation on that one occasion, whatever occasion that may be?
Yeah, that's the one thing that I wish that we could do as a country, because, you know, that's one of the things that made me want to go to Brazil, is because I would, you know, when I looked it up, I'm like, damn, they got this going on. Wow, okay, cool. Um, and it was like, damn, I wish, you know, we could do that here, but we can't. I just don't. I don't get it.
Yeah. But what would you find to be the hardest thing to adjust to if you were to live in a different
um, at this age, I would have to say, oddly enough, I would have to say TV, because I'm so used to what we have for TV. And like, when we was in Germany, we had one channel. Um, and that was hard to get used to. Um, that would be the main thing. But outside of that, I guess it would be depending on the country, outside of the language, because that's a given.
country?
Um, but I know a lot of people speak English. I guess just getting used to how the people operate overall. Um, just because I know that they act a whole lot different from what I'm used to. I'm used to a lot of, you don't know what you're going to get here. Like, it
Right.
doesn't matter who you talk to, whether they're same color as you, different color, uh, um, uh, financial status, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get here. And from what I've seen from other places is, you know, when you get around these people, you're going to get this. And it's usually humble, welcoming, generous, and stuff like that. So I would have to get used to that, because that would be a big culture shock to me.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely would say that the hardest, well, I can't say the hardest adjustment, but one of the things I would have to adjust to the most would be being able to actually let my guard down.
Yeah, that too.
Because here within, our country, we're so um, programmed, if you will, or used to having to keep our guard up.
Yeah, yeah,
Meaning,
yeah,
damn near have to have your head on a swivel because there's so much going on around you, if you're paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
That being able to adjust to a different country and not have to do that all the time like that,
Mm-hmm.
that would take some adjusting. And
Yeah, I get it.
again, here we, those of us who know, and those of us who don't.
Right.
Meaning there are so many different worlds within one city, it's hard to keep up. Like when you see the series The Wire,
Lord.
that's for real, bro. It's like,
let me tell you, because like I said, I live 30 minutes from Baltimore. Yeah.
like really, The Wire is for real. Give you a prime example. One time, I was contemplating moving to Mobile to live with my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I was maybe there 3 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my long time friends pulled up on me. I was like, man, how come you didn't tell me you're coming in town? I was like, dude, it was kind of like a whim that I'm even here. And I was like, how in the world did you know I was here? And he was like, you know The Wire. Well, yeah, that's true. Like, you think everything is everything, but everything is not everything.
Right.
Like there are people watching you, and you're not even
they straight checking for you.
Yeah, like don't anything move without someone noticing it, and it goes up the wire, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. That is definitely yeah, that's definitely something.
Yeah.
Definitely something. Yeah. What else would I find hard to adjust to? Living there, I guess living accommodations.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
Yo. And that's a big one, because we do know that here we have a big lifestyle, to put it that way, meaning our living accommodations are much larger than a lot of places. Um, like some places, even like places like Japan and stuff like that, the way that they live on top of each other and stuff like that, man, I could not live that close to somebody. And it's like you would have to live far away from like the main cities to have, decent space. Um, and then with that, a lot of their utilities in some places are not as developed as ours.
Right.
So that would be something to get used to. Um, and another thing would be the traffic, because some of them places have traffic a lot worse than ours.
Yeah, like no stoplights and stop signs.
Yeah, and a whole lot more cars, and we talk about traffic here, how bad it is here. Some of them places, you like, God damn, they got that many cars over there. It's like, wait, and it's like that place is this big. Like,
yeah,
I can't fool with it.
I would say, excuse me, one of the things that I would really find difficult to adjust to is not being able to get in a car and go see family and friends like that.
Yeah,
that would be a big adjustment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like one of the biggest things that really has held me back over the years to a certain degree, because you always want to be close enough to your family where if anything happens, you can get there in a decent amount of time, meaning it doesn't take you a week or so.
Right.
Like you can just jump in your car and you're there within a few hours or so. I would say if I was younger and know the stuff that I know now, I probably wouldn't live so close to my own folks. And nothing against them. It's just, again, there's a whole nother world out there. You gotta partake in it if you want to see, different things. But, me and my wife, we have contemplated, moving to a different country. And we still might do that. I don't know. Okay. But as of right now, we're pretty comfortable where we're at. So I don't see us making any major move anytime soon.
Yeah, as far as that though, I feel you on that, but I've gotten to the point where I've noticed that people have this thing saying, "Oh, you live too far." And I'm like 30, 40 minutes away. Oh, that's too far. So, although I would miss the ability to do that,
yeah,
I would not so much miss it because people just don't respect or they not like they used to. Everything is just too much for them now.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? It don't matter if I'm around the corner, 30 minutes away, an hour away, or whatever. If I'm not coming to see you, I ain't gonna come see you. So with that, I'm like, all right, whatever. But I think it would be hard to adjust to just because I don't have the ability to get there in a short amount of time.
Right.
Yeah. But hey, it's King and I Life podcast. www.kinganilife.com. Make sure you check us out. Sunsolex.
Oh yeah, you guys can reach us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, of course YouTube. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Please help us get that subscriber count up. We are still trying to reach 100, and I know a lot of platforms, their numbers are doubling, tripling, quadrupling very fastly, but they're them and we are us. So we're not trying to compare ourselves to anyone else. We're happy with where we're at, and again, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So just help us get that up. We appreciate it.